Today I'm gonna show you how to change the internal set and diaphragm of the SCV in case of maintenance is required. The SCV are automatic control valves and are used to control three fundamental hydraulic parameters, which are the flow, the pressure, and the level. Along the SCV lifetime, it might occur to make maintenance and to change the valve inner parts in order to guarantee the valve functionality in the future. The first thing to do in case we need to change the internal set is to dismantle the valve pilot system in this way. At this point, we can easily reach the top side of the SCV so that we can take the cap off and change the internal diaphragm. We obviously have to empty the pipeline previously, but the good thing of the SCV is that for changing of the internal parts, you don't have to take the valve off the flanges. Let's see now how to unscrew and dismantle the valve upper part. Once all the bolts will be unscrewed, we can take the cap off. So that you will have completely access to the SCV internal set. We remove the spring, and afterwards we remove the internal set as well. The internal set is directly connected to the cap and the SCV shutter. You may need to replace this internal set because it could wear out over the time due to the internal deterioration of the diaphragm. Or you can think of replacing it in case of preventive maintenance, therefore avoid damages and preventively carry out maintenance on your valve. The most sensitive parts of the internal set are the diaphragm and the seal. The internal set is made of these parts, where the main ones are the membrane or the diaphragm, the quad-ring sealing, the spacers, and the main shaft. This is how to dismantle the diaphragm. We unscrew the lock nut. Afterwards, we unscrew the main nut. We remove the plate. Inside there is an O-ring seal. We remove the worn out membrane. And we place the new spare membrane. Now we can take the main plane, making sure that the O-ring stays in position. You can put some grease in the O-ring to keep it fixed. Place the bolts. The main one and the lock nut. All the bolts have to be properly tightened. Once the internal set has been changed, put back the set into the SCV. It's important to pay attention about that the two pins in the SCV match with the two holes in the membrane. Afterwards, we place the internal set, taking as reference the two pins. Once the internal set is definitely placed, check that it moves freely and that it is properly positioned in its seat. Afterwards, we place the spring back, place the ACV cap as well, and put back every single bolt. Once the bolts have been manually placed, we can tighten them, and it is important that to start tightening the bolts crosswise. As soon as you have finished to pre-tighten the bolts crosswise, you may use a torque wrench to tighten the bolts again at the proper torque, as indicated in the SEV technical tables. In this way, you are sure to tighten the bolts evenly and to the same torque. Once the internal set is changed, we can place the piloting system back in the SEV as follows. The fitting used for connecting the pilot system are Certo-type compression fittings. The fittings will get tight by compression without the use of the gasket. Once all the fittings are tight, the ACV is ready to be used again. Another important detail is that when you restore the water in the pipeline, it's very important to vent the air inside the ACV. For doing that, through a screwdriver, we open the air vent in order to extract all the air present in the ACV valve system. All the air will be substituted by water. Once all the air has gone out, we will close the vent again. And the ACV is ready to work. For any further information and details, you can consult our technical office in Saint-Gobain, PAM.